put one of these on here. I'll tell you about this.
Right.
People at the back, you'll see. Or you can use this cam lock system. So if you wanted to make up your slurry somewhere else, you can just put one of these on here and attach a hose onto here and pump in your slurry. Depends if you want to just use a bucket or you just pump it in with a little hand pump. This I've knocked up in the last few days to try and show you as simple a system as I can think of that you can start using hopefully straight away. So you buy yourself a plastic drum, that's probably the cheapest part of the job. And then you modify the lid. It's a bit heavy, I went a bit overkill on the first one. So this is where your slurry is going in, and it drops down below the water level, not the water level, the digestate level, and then it's a really crude hand mixer. And that, again, this tube, this outer tube is providing your seal with the digester. If you didn't have that, you're going to get gas flowing back up the pipe, and the same with this one. If you cut this pipe off too short and you just drop it, your gas is just going to come straight out. So you basically assemble that onto your lid, drop it in. This is assuming that you've attached a heater, perhaps in the side of here. I've put a couple of takeoffs here. One of these is for the gas takeoff. This one here you can either use for a temperature probe that dangles down in a thermocouple, or you could have another gas takeoff. So I just need to get some bits over here. Can I have that thing behind me, that manometer, this on the side of the drum? Yeah.
We were planning last night to fill this with digestate and producing gas, but we're running a little bit late. So.
How am I doing, Kath?
You've got 10 minutes.
Oh. You can. This is. You can buy electronic pressure transducers if you want to go fancy, or you can just. And that thing there. So.
Oh, he's gonna install it.
Why not have to use this fiddle now? I've got a license. So if you didn't want to do this plate, which you really don't have to, this is what I would do. You basically drill a hole. I can get it to work. Once you hold it like this, is the battery going to die? Here's a little drill over there.
I took your big bulkhead fitting over here.
That's fine. This stuff is incredibly strong, HDP. I think it's really useful stuff. You can use it other than making your tanks. You can do all sorts of stuff with it.
It's backwards.
Oops. Hammer.
No, my bad. Sorry.
Then just put this backing plate on.
And if you put silicone in there,
yeah,
you have to know. You have to get good at it. That it will be gas tight. You can make it gas tight pretty easily. If you've never done it before, it probably won't be gas tight the first time.
Do you use normal silicone or special mastic?
So I'm in a different country, but I've ended up using a product like silicone that's made for gutter repair. So it's watertight and it's pretty outdoor kind of.
Is it black?
Yeah.
It's come up. Yeah, yeah.
You probably get that stuff here. But James has magic mastic connection. I don't know if I should reveal it, but he knows about some good products as well.
So those two bolts in there just help keep the alignment of the holes. So then you just oops, that's one of the just get your other bolts and attach it to the other half, which is falling. Yeah, thanks. I'll let you do that while I tell you about some other bits. Okay, but it's quite quick, and it generally is gas type. I haven't had one leak yet. Is that insulation around yet? Yeah. So when you've done that, you put your heater in, you put the digester drain valve, that will go somewhere about here, and there's some fittings that you go in here as well on the other side of that.
Why is it so high up?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, you want to try and, in an ideal world you get it as high as you can, but then if you go too high you're in the gas space, so you want it below the line of the digester line. But obviously, because you're putting in your fresh down at the bottom of the tube, so you're effectively draining off, you're displacing your input, your output's getting displaced by whatever you're putting in. So when you come to load it, you basically open this up. As you put product in, you're going to displace, basically it's a wet, a slurry, digested slurry out of here, and that drains into a bucket.
And so that's your sort of regular overflow, and if you wanted to drain it in this system, you just turn it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you've got, after a while, if you've got stone and grip, well then you just pick it up and wash it out. That's all there. It's quite flexible.
Rather than have a drain valve at the bottom to clear out with it. Yeah.
And then there was a bit of elbows, or you don't have to do it like this. You can create a little water lock in here, which we can explain perhaps in more detail later. So that's a heater, digester drain. And then let's do a bit in there. Oh, thanks. There we go. And then you want to keep it warm, so once you've started heating it, there's no point wasting all that energy. Yes, and I don't know where you got this from, but this is top-notch insulation. Generally, I've gone skip diving, and building sites offer huge, shocking amounts of offcut of kingspan, 100mm kingspan. It's just scary, the amount they throw out. And you might have problems making it round, but don't limit yourself to that. I've put these before in square boxes with insulation around it. You can clad them in wood to pretty them up a bit so they're not such an eyesore to look at. And you can paint them, and it's a fun project to be involved with, so make some. Walk away from it.
You have to sort of calibrate them then.
Yeah, it will take an initial bit of setting up. 250 watts. And that works in conjunction with a thermostat that's used on a hot water tank. These things are about £15, and those heaters there, we could probably do those about £60, we think.
You just made yourself though?
No, this one I haven't. No, this is with a supplier that I've worked with before on biodiesel. But actually, the problem with that is attaching it to your vessel. But I mean, I don't think that's going to be a problem. And we're working together with this guy, and we're hoping that he can also do a DC version, 12-volt DC. So if you're interested in running solar PV, you could perhaps use that. They're about 1.7 kilowatts. Different ones again. These are sort of industrial heaters used for process applications, but they're all readily available. Just got to keep an eye on eBay and things like that. That's another one of those thermostats. Valves and fittings. This is the sort of thing that is available now off the shelf. Yeah, we started with these at CAT, and you basically drill a large hole and you tighten it up. And they generally have a usable thread on one side, and then on the other side they have a fairly strange sort of non-industry standard thread here, so you're left with a situation where you can't put anything on the inside or on the outside. They are okay. I always got a bit frustrated with them, so I sort of started working on these things. And the idea was that you can drop this through the hole in the IBC, you drill your large hole, and then I put the nuts on the back already in place. So you literally just, it takes, well, if there's time we maybe do a quick demonstration, but they're nice that you can put fittings on both sides of it. And then there's just a range of sizes for different things, like this is a 1/2 inch thread, and that can be used for things like temperature gauges. This is another one here. This is I quite like this one. It's one of my favourite bits. Bit sad, isn't it? This is a thermostat, but it's a mechanical thermostat, so there's no electrics to it. It's really simple. You basically get a fitting like this. That's 3/4 inch, I think. Hopefully it is. Yep. So you attach that. That goes into your vessel, and then this would go off to your hot water supply. And to regulate the temperature that you want it at, just rotate that. And once it's set up, that's it. But it's nice. There's no electrics to it.
You just use a thermometer to check the temperature?
Yeah, just use your temperature. But once you're set up, you can just look at your gauge, quick glance, is it at temperature? Yep, it's fine.
What's the name of that kind of...
This is actually an American one. It's all in Fahrenheit, which is a bit weird to me. I'm too old, too young. Still code, but I mean, take a picture of it. And,
How much did you buy that new?
no, I can't remember quite. I don't even remember where I found it. It was just in a box of crap that I had sort of lying about. But it's
Because solar heat in the summer can actually overheat your. I imagine can probably overheat your digester, so that would cut off a thermosiphon.
that's the idea. The sort of, if you're getting into solar thermal, it is a little mini system or a sub-assembly within the digester. So that's why you can start with a simple immersion heater. It gets you up and running quite quickly, and then once you're confident with that and doing your other jobs with the digester, filling it and discharging it, once you've got the hang of it, you can move it on to another level of perhaps solar thermal. When it's there's an area of research and technology. There's so many little avenues that you can go off down within micro AD. It's an exciting project to be involved with.
Can I ask a quick question about the IBC fitting from where the bottom thing comes out?
Yeah.
I'm having a great deal of trouble finding fittings to go over
Yeah,
that.
there's a number of fittings that they use. Different manufacturers who use different ones. If you're not sure, go onto YouTube and there's a guy there telling you how to work out what thread you've got.
Okay. So it's not standard thread, is it?
No, there's about 3 different sizes, but if you go on there, he tells you how to work it. You just measure it and he'll tell you what it is.
What do I Google? What
Just
keywords?
YouTube IBC drain valve.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will show you. We actually have one on ours. It's, and then it goes...
From cost, but also from a corrosion point of view, the plastic and the steel ones look a bit manky after a while, and they're good. But again, if you're looking at a self-build, a lot of this stuff is available second hand.
So do you spend most of your time in skips and...
I do spend probably 2